Everyone. Good morning. Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the region, and welcome to the APPIS Summit for 2022. And on behalf of the APPIS 2022 Council, I wish to share with you this good news that more than 500 of us are gathered together for the APPIS 2022 event. And it is going to be an exciting 3 days for all of us. So it's not just patient organizations that are here. We also have policymakers joining us. We have the physicians with us. We have also academia, the payers, the industry representatives, and of course, we know that the patient organizations make up more than 50% of attendees for this session. And we know that there are patient leaders in this group. We also know that there are those who are patient advocates who have been there all this while helping out your partners, your new patients, and also helping out our countries, our policymakers to make things better for the patient. Now, we have 515 of you so far registered, 44 countries in the region, and as well as about 215 organizations. So this is going to be something I would like to see some good results come out of it, some challenges, some solutions, and innovations from patient groups as well as their stakeholders. So without further ado, I would like to go to the next slide. Is there a slide? Yes. So you can see that APPIS 2021, we actually established the APPIS community in that year, and we did drive the real-world data impact to address unmet needs of patients, caregivers, and also policymakers and healthcare providers. And we also did enabling of capacity building with the APPIS Academy. So we offered ongoing capacity building modules for multilingual workshops as well as online courses provided by the APPIS partners. So I think we have moved one milestone and we're going to the next milestone, which is this year. Next slide, please. Now, you might be wondering, what is APPIS for those of you who are new? So it is the Alliance and Partnership for Patient Innovation and Solutions, and it focuses on enabling convergence of perspectives between patient communities and key stakeholders. What does it mean? It means all stakeholders, including patient communities, healthcare providers, work together to have better outcomes for patients in the Asia-Pacific region, in the Middle East region, and the African region. We know that we share a great deal of challenges. We share inspiration and solutions to these challenges in our region. So the healthcare systems around the world have plenty of challenges. And we know that with the pandemic and other issues that we've been facing, we have to look at opportunities to become more resilient and to build sustainable partnership among ourselves as stakeholders to make sure that there are better health outcomes for everyone in the region. Next slide. And so we have so many things in store for us. We have the region-wide region-wide summit, which is this 3-day summit that you have, and the entire APPIS community coming together beyond the region as well, because we know that there are some countries which are represented outside the Asia Pacific, the African and the Middle East region. We have the APPIS Innovator Program that has been introduced to recognize patient organizations that have found innovative ways that amplify the patient's voice, and also it helps to escalate and improve healthcare outcomes. And we have the pre and post summit. We're not going to just stay quiet between the workshops. So we have pre and post summit workshops, which are multi-stakeholder workshops around the key themes to look at what kind of outcomes we can have, which can be something that we can practically use in a pragmatic way in our countries. And we have the APPIS community, Academy community as well, which is a continuous, all year round offering and engaging to enable capacity building for our region. Next slide. Or don't have any slides. Okay, then I know where I am now. There is going to be someone who is going to speak to us. I would like to introduce to you Mr. Francis Bouchard, who is the regional head for Novartis Oncology for the Asia Pacific, Middle East, and the African countries, to share with us a few words. Francis has a passion, and that lies in empowering his teams to transform cancer care for patients, especially those in underserved communities. And what better region could you find? The Asia Pacific region, the African region, and the Middle East region. Many areas here are underserved. So he has a long track record of partnering with healthcare stakeholders, including patient communities, to improve patient outcomes in the region. So join me to welcome Francis Bouchard to this session. Over to you, Francis.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the kind introduction, Ranjit. So it's my pleasure to welcome all of you to APPIS 2022. And when I was looking at the video, it reminded me that when we use acronyms like APPIS, we actually tend to forget what the letters represent. And when you think about the letters behind APPIS, those are 5 words that are extremely meaningful. We are talking about alliance and partnerships, patient innovation, and also solutions. So we're honored to have you join us today as we kick off the 2nd year of APPIS Summit. And as Ranjit said, the first edition of last year was extremely successful with a lot of people that joined us. And we're going to continue to have important discussions around patient needs and challenges. Now, as you saw in the opening video, the themes were jointly selected for discussion over the next 3 days, and they include health literacy, which is going to be the focus today, health policy shaping, and also digital health and communications. And these topics were identified by patient leaders as areas where stronger involvement of patients and caregivers will benefit the healthcare ecosystem in our region. Now, I'm pleased to introduce today's theme focusing on health literacy, and it's a topic that I feel is super important and also extremely relevant given the complexities around oncology. Now, you all know that cancer treatments and procedures can be overwhelming for both patients and caregivers, with patients often needing a combination of treatments depending on their diagnosis. Also in the region, we have diverse patient needs across various cultures, languages, and also varying levels of access to healthcare services. And I know that we have a broad range of healthcare stakeholders in this virtual room today. Ranjit mentioned it earlier. We've got the patient community that's represented, policymakers, payers, physicians, academia, and also industry. And I believe it's our shared responsibility to ensure that we're empowering patients with educational opportunities and also and provide them with clear and concise information. And this is where I feel that patient organizations and experts, such as yourselves, play an important role in bridging the gaps to improve outcomes for patients. And this is the main reason why we're all together today. Now, when discussing a problem that needs to be solved, I always like to start with some background to help provide a picture of the current situation. And there's an interesting report from the Lymphoma Coalition Global Patient Survey that's quite recent, from 2020, that provides key insights into many of the barriers that are experienced by patients in our region. Now, the report was focused on Asia Pacific, but these barriers, they affect patients' ability to make informed decisions and also access to treatment, not just in lymphoma, not just in Asia Pacific, but I think it's really broader than this. And there are three findings that really struck me. The first one is the limited time that the patients have with the doctor. Basically, 48% of patients felt that they were not given enough information around the important time of diagnosis. So that's half of the patients. Also, only 37% of patients reported being informed and completely understood how to manage the side effects of their treatment. So that's only roughly a third. And 35% of patients feel comfortable discussing their fear of cancer relapse with their doctor, which means that 2/3 don't feel comfortable. Now, these are not only shocking numbers, but also numbers that can make a huge difference for patients and their family. And just yesterday, someone from my management team, her name is Fran, lost her young father. He was in his late 60s to pancreatic cancer after a 2-year battle. And while it's always a sad outcome, he benefited from Fran's support throughout the journey because she was able to accompany him on important medical visits. And being in the industry, Fran was also had access to important knowledge and was able to consult with internal experts. Now, in the end, Fran's dad managed to beat the odds of the initial prognosis and also to have a decent quality of life, and importantly, to build more moments or memories for him and his family, like attending a Chelsea football match last October. And I remember seeing a picture that Fran had sent me. And I feel this is how improving the numbers that I quoted previously can have a meaningful impact on patients and their families. So it's a lot more than numbers. Now at Novartis, we're trying to also do our part. And to give you an example of an initiative that I'm very proud of, which is the peer navigation program that improves health literacy by equipping patients' organizations with knowledge and tools to support patients and caregivers. And this initiative came about following feedback from patients and also patient advocates that there was a lack of access to emotional, informational, and logistical support services for patients with metastatic breast cancer in our region. And we then worked with the patient community and advocates, including the Advanced Breast Cancer Global Alliance, to create a training program and relevant materials that empower patient organizations to roll out local peer navigation programs. And these local programs increase cancer patient access to trained advocates who can then help them receive necessary support services, such as treatment information, care support information, and also help them navigate the healthcare landscape with a bit more ease by identifying the relevant information for them. So in a way, this is similar to what Fran was able to do for her dad. And since 2019, we've carried out 3 workshops and successfully trained 75 patient advocates in the region. Now, these are small numbers. It's just the start of our journey. And we aim to replicate this across other cancers like lung cancer, which is extremely important in our region. Now, 4 years ago, we also launched the Novartis commitment to patients and caregivers to integrate patient perspectives in our initiatives and efforts across the innovative medicines lifecycle. We've seen this commitment come to life in various ways and acknowledge that there's still a lot more that we can do for the patient communities. APPIS is a big part of this, and it continues to serve as a vital platform for us to converge perspectives between patient communities and key stakeholders. And in the end, creating solutions that are rooted in innovative partnerships. And I go back to the 5 letters of APPIS. And we regard you as valued partners in this process, and we clearly can't do it alone. We need to do this together, and we think that we'll be able to create a better future for people managing a broad range of diseases. So with this, I'd like to once again extend a warm welcome to all of you and wish you a very productive and fruitful summit over the next 3 days. Thank you.